I asked for opinions on graduation etiquette, and almost 300 of y'all delivered on those opinions. And actually, there was only one question that everybody agreed on. Now, disclaimer, this is a very unofficial poll taken from my audience who, granted, are probably slightly more interested in etiquette than the average person. But I still think it's worth going through these results of how do we feel about this graduate edition. All right, so we're all on the same page. An announcement is what you send out, just simply announcing the graduation, versus the invitation is where you are actually inviting them to the ceremony or to a graduation party afterwards. And I was glad to see that people are used to this, because there was hardly anybody who said they would be offended if they received an announcement, even though they weren't technically invited to the ceremony. However, they do not want to receive an announcement via email, and they were only slightly okay with receiving a graduation party invitation via email. And I was thinking that would have swayed more the other way, because I feel like evites are more of a thing nowadays. They also don't want to receive graduation party invites via Facebook, although that number does slightly increase if you follow it up with a personal DM afterwards. So if you are going to go the Facebook route, just make sure you're not mass inviting and that you are following up with a personal message afterwards. And I'm sorry, but the QR codes linking out to gift registries for the graduate on the announcement or the party invitation are still not very popular. And people are fine with skipping hand addressing envelopes and using computer printed envelopes, even computer printed labels, which was a nice little reality check for me because I'm not a fan of labels, but maybe I'm holding on to that a little too tightly. And most people were also fine with parents sending these items out on behalf of the graduate. However, they were not fine with parents sending out thank yous on behalf of the graduate. This was that one question where almost everyone was in agreement. Graduates have to send their own thank yous. And the method in which we thank people is important too. Emails and text messages were a no-go, but via FaceTime or a phone call was actually okay with people. And then one of the most surprising things from this was when you open a gift in front of someone and thank the giver in person as well, most people still want a handwritten thank you note. And this caught my attention because I teach my students that a thank you in person is the best type of thank you that you can give. And if you're able to thank them in person, then a follow-up thank you note is purely optional. But I think I'm going to adjust my curriculum to strongly encourage a handwritten follow-up note to really drive home that gratitude, because people are still wanting it and I've got to set my students up right. And as far as these thank you notes go, I also asked about sending out a custom printed but generic thank you card. And surprisingly, people were okay with this if it had a handwritten signature and an additional 1 to 2 handwritten sentences. Otherwise, nope. And lastly, not surprisingly, people are fine with clapping for your graduate at the graduation ceremony, but cheering loudly is still not cool. All right, so what should our next topic be?